Yeah, we'll share our maps to the North Atlantic with France. They're our good buddies. France has decided to accept the knowledge sharing from Shelra. Has Shelra, like, adopted the institution already? How did that happen? Well, I guess... Oh, because they're next to Castile, who still owns the Low Countries at this point. Gotcha. Well, we're going to have to figure out a way to deal with these peasants with having no money. Which probably means we're just going to have to accept being in debt for the foreseeable future. So, it also means we're going to take economic ideas next. Discovered an agent from England. Took out a loan. There we go. Just barely killed the peasants. What'll be really funny... Okay, so that completely redid our structure of our estates. Now, what'll be really funny is if we end up, like, completely mimicking history and bankrupting the Scottish crown with these hyper-aggressive colonial ventures. At least we're not going to need to pay missionaries for very much longer. And we have church power. Do we have anything that will give us money? That's really what we need right now. Yearly prestige, yearly legitimacy, manpower recovery. Alright, so we'll start with the production efficiency. So we're going to allow usury. Monetary loans with interest that enrich the lender are now no longer considered sinful. Because it will make the government money. Weird how that works. And then we'll take the one that gives us faster colonies. Oh, see the Micmacers, they're squatting our province that we want now. That's not going to be good for them. Austria is sharing knowledge with people. Yeah, this is going to be... It's going to be interesting. Dog's life. We'll take the prestige, thank you. That helps our economy. I guess we could spend military power to strengthen the government, too. Yeah, legitimacy doesn't do a lot for our economy, though. Okay, Orkney. Cool. So, we should be 100% Protestant now. Shetland's converted to Protestant. Isle of Man is converting to Protestant. So now it's really going to start. So the other centers of Reformation are Hamburg and Berlin, I think. Yeah, which is owned by Silesia. Yeah, Brandenburg like fucking died. Silesia's gone independent from Bohemia, it looks like. Are they part of the Empire? Yes. Are they Protestant? No. But they probably will be soon, because all of their lands are going to go Protestant. So, yeah. We'll see how this goes. The Ottomans have completely conquered the Balkans, from the looks of things. Venice does not really any longer exist. Ferrara owns. Let's see, Istria, which is currently occupied by Ragusa. Yeah, so Brandenburg died, Venice died. Like, a lot of nations that normally do pretty well are just freaking up and dying. Muscovy still hasn't fully consolidated their power in Eastern Europe yet. I'm going to go ahead and get the flute. That should increase our innovativeness gain. Corruption. We will... we don't have the money to deal with corruption right now, but we want to stay at least +1 stability so we can continue to accumulate prosperity. Which, by the way, most of the lands are prospering except for the place where all the rebellions keep happening. And we're going to end up taking out another loan, aren't we? Is there anything we can do? Not really, is there? I mean, our forts are turned off. We can mothball these guys. But if we put our army maintenance any lower, we're going to start getting killed by native uprisings. Which is why I wish I could just put this specific army on 0 maintenance. That's not an option, right? I'm not being stupid. No, that's not an option. Other things on our balance sheet, yeah, we don't want to reduce colonial maintenance because we want our colonies to grow as fast as possible. State maintenance, we're not running any edicts at the moment. So yeah, we're just going to have to try to get economic ideas as fast as possible and hope that our interest payments don't hit, you know, critical mass where we have to declare bankruptcy. And that our colonies, prosper fast enough that we can actually start making a lot of money off of them. Louis de Valois has died. Royal marriage with France has ended. Let's go ahead and renew that. Oh, France is already ready to renew it. Cool. And Adelaide is our new queen, so we have a French queen, which is cool. Adelaide de Valois, she's 17 years old, married to our 64-year-old king, but, you know, that's the way of the times. It is the age of Reformation. Okay, so she's a charismatic negotiator. Through personal involvement in state diplomacy and negotiations, Queen Adelaide de Valois is able to make others see things her way more often than would otherwise be possible, so that's good. We can pass the Blasphemy Act. We don't have any reason to right now because we're at 100% religious unity, so we'll table that for the moment. Let's see. It'd be really nice if we could get that Conquer Ireland mission to finish, but we're not in a good place to go to war with England right now. London, Oxford, Hampshire, legitimacy of 100. Now, if we get a personal union over England, that might actually be the best way to do it. That's going to be difficult, though. What else was I going to look at here? There's something else I needed to look at, but I've totally forgotten it, so we'll just keep going and see if it comes back to me. I've actually been recording for quite a while. I'm going to... oh, end of the Castilian Civil War, finally. I'm probably going to wrap this up fairly soon here. We recorded a crap. I think this is the most EU4 I've ever recorded in a single day. We're going to have content for ages. So, James is the heir to the throne. Pretty good stats, at least admin-wise. Austria's embraced colonialism. It'd be funny to see if colonialism spreads to us before we're actually able to trigger it ourselves. It's like trickling across the border from England. France has embraced colonialism. What's our tech penalty right now? 24? Yeah, it's not too Oh no, we've been attacked. Palatinate. Likes us, I guess. Alright. About to have a colony finish. Bankrupting the country with ill-advised colonial ventures. What could be more Scottish than that? No one wants to work. Well, screw them. That felt like the game directly punishing me for singing. It's like, yeah, well, what about this smartass? Alright, claims fabricated from Denmark. We don't really care. Cool. Colonies become self-sustaining. So unfortunately, that will be the capital of Canada. I was hoping to have it in a better spot. Grand Banks Fisheries. Our explorers report that over the Grand Banks of Newfoundland, they have found waters teeming with thousands upon thousands of fishes just waiting to be caught. Fishing expeditions are headed to these waters in greater and greater numbers, and markets are awash with an unimaginable supply of fish. So 0.033 is going to become... Okay, so that helped our economy pretty significantly, actually. Are the Micmac in, like, any kind of federation? Oh, yeah, they're in a huge federation. Well, they did move out of the... Okay, they moved out of the province we wanted, so... Maybe we won't have to kill them yet. These three provinces are pretty key. And the areas around them. So one... Yeah, this whole area around the Gulf of St. Lawrence we want to make sure is well within our control. Quebec and Lower Canada. England's still fabricating claims like they do. They're no longer a great power. England's building a spy network. Just all kinds of shenanigans. Like, I've had it with their shenanigans. Trade. So the Gulf of St. Lawrence feeds into the North Sea, I believe. So we need to be transferring from there. That should actually help our economy quite a bit. 383 is going to become 431. There we go. See? We're starting to get to a point. Charles has become greedy in his old age. The age of 67. State revenue collection is growing increasingly iron-fisted and short-sighted under our ruler, who will stop at nothing to try to increase our income. Destroying or harming every source of revenue, the long-term effects of his short-sighted behavior is a great decrease of tax income. So he saw these ships starting to come in from the Gulf of St. Lawrence with all these goods on them, and he's like, let's just tax the shit out of it and undo all of the good we just did to our economy. So what that probably means is I'm going to force him to abdicate as soon as possible, but he'll probably already be dead by then, so never mind. He's just going to bankrupt the country. He's come quite far from that little boy who figured out how to boats. Now he's just greedy old man who is ruining everything. Oh hey, our decision to grant concessions to a merchant company has proven wise. Our earnings been greatly enhanced. And this money can keep us from going bankrupt for like another 6 months. Merchants and Administration has expired, which is going to hurt our economy even more. So the burghers are not the sole authority within the cities. The clergy also have a strong presence in most big cities, going back to their initial founding. Conflicts sometimes arise when the councils of the burghers implement rules that the clergy disapprove of. Such conflicts have become more and more commonplace, and members of the clergy are openly acting in defiance of the various rules the burghers have agreed upon in their cities. Delegates from various burghers-dominated cities are now urging us to clarify the situation. So, we're making a lot more from taxes than we are from trade, I believe. Yeah, a fair bit more. So we're going to side with the clergy in this because we need good amount of taxes. Neither of them are, like, dangerously influential, right? No. So we're going to make the burghers mad and the clergy happy. Which will result in a net loss of income. Net loss is the answer. Well, we could burn some prestige to boost them up a little bit. Let's see. Influence, loyalty would lose prestige and legitimacy. Let's see. Let's seek the support of the clergy as well. We'll recover that negative prestige pretty fast. Oh, and it gave us more church power. So, there's not another one that gives us money directly, as far as I know. So yeah, we'll go with the global settler chance. Heretics deported! The executions of heretics who oppose our church and beliefs or opinions deemed heretical is being placed with the deportation of those guilty of sin. I wish this actually had an effect. Like, I wish there was some way that EU4 would model the fact that a lot of these colonies were populated largely by people who did not adhere to the religious orthodoxy of the home country. I think that could create some really interesting situations, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. Okay, we're not going to tech up again because we'd be unbalanced. Oh no, okay. Yes, you can have our maps of the West African Sea. We have an idle diplomat. We're going to put him on neighboring countries. Which apparently is going to go after some Native Americans. So maybe instead, let's do threatening countries. Well, get us back up to 3 stability. We're going to be in debt anyway, so go ahead and hire the court painter. Current interest payments are now at 108. If they get to 18, we go bankrupt. What was the other thing I was going to look at? Yeah, we really need to get the next level of admin tech. When's our next idea group? Admin 10. Yeah, we really just need to get to admin 10. I hope our king dies, so he will stop ruining our taxes. Saved by a princess. We cannot imagine the terror our conquistador must have felt when he laid his head onto a great stone while seeing men standing ready with clubs above his head. Luckily for him, the chief's dearest daughter rushed forth and placed her head upon his to save him from death. We must make sure this doesn't happen again. They are barbarians. Well, we don't have the money for that, so I guess we're just going to call them barbarians because we don't have any money. Mutiny in Apatzingan. Several crew members of the Conquistador's expedition were captivated by the idyllic life in Apatzingan, I don't blame them, and decided to abandon the expedition. This was declared an act of mutiny by the Conquistador, and after a long hunt, the mutineers were captured. Should they be sent back and tried here, or should they be forgiven and allowed to return to the expedition as crew members after a bit of flogging? I say we flog them, because we have a lot of military power to spare. We're going to fall behind in innovativeness. Waving the white flag. 2 tribes, one from Aztec and one from a neighboring county, are rivals, something our Conquistador didn't realize until too late. They both demanded tribute from the expedition to allow them passage. By offering one native chief gifts first, our Conquistador insulted and angered the other chief. So this is another thing. This, I feel like, is an event I'm very glad is in the game, because it portrays a reality that is often not really given any airtime, so to speak, in traditional colonization tellings of, the Colombian contact. It wasn't always a one-way street. There were actually times when, European expeditions would run into a powerful, American native chief, and it was like, hey, you're not as cool as you think you are. You're going to have to, pay us tribute to show that you recognize our authority. That kind of thing actually happened a lot. It wasn't always just like conquistadors coming in with guns and everybody, bowing down or running scared. Like there were interactions in which the native leaders definitely had the upper hand, and I think that that's important to portray in the sense that it kind of challenges the traditional stereotype of the Europeans came in and killed everyone and took over. It wasn't always like that. There were these situations where the shoe was on the other foot, and so I particularly like this event for pointing that out. So the gifts offered were not to the chief's satisfaction, and some warriors tried to take the expedition's provisions. The Conquistador took a firm stance and presented arms. His second-in-command brandished his sword and threatened violence. The chiefs backed down, and better gifts were presented to them both. So we can try to make them bury the hatchet. They'll increase their opinion of each other, or they might just hate us, or good work, yeah, we'll just take the diplomatic power. We don't really care if they continue fighting or stop fighting. It's probably better for us if they continue fighting, if we're thinking about this from a practical sense. Yeah, I really want to get that faster colonists idea, and then we'll focus on tech. In the meantime, we have provinces that could stand to be developed better, so we'll work on that. Converted another nation. Unify all provinces of your culture group. I think we only need one more, right? Because Breton doesn't count. Yeah. So we either need to conquer the Pale, or we need to have England convert it to a different culture. What else could we be working on? Join the Reformation, we've done. Finish humanist or religious ideas. Yeah, maybe. Resistance to the Reformation in Leinster. There are still those, especially in the countryside, who oppose the State Church of Scotland and who long to return to the embrace of the Roman Church. There is, however, a big difference between religious doubts and open rebellion, and so far things have been quiet in Leinster. The State Church has, in turn, been content to leave most of these people alone as long as they attend services and pay their taxes. It seems this peace was not meant to last. The recent collection of church silver in the area has been regarded as an open declaration of war by the local population, and they're now taking up arms to protect their churches from the greedy hands of Edinburgh. So, 15 religious regiments rise up, and the clergy gain 10 loyalty, or exempt this area for now. We would lose 25 church power. The clergy become less loyal. Leinster becomes a Catholic stronghold, which will make it impossible to convert. Local tax modifier goes down. Local missionary strength. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to fight. We're gonna have to spend more money raising armies to fight the heretics. Wow, they have a really good general, too. Catholic zealots have taken control of Leinster, so we're having our own little time of troubles here.
Ooh, we're getting a stroke again.
And it's starting to rain, which might mean it's a good time to cut this off. But let's see what we can do here. And we're gonna lose. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and save the game there. When we come back, our colonization of the New World continues. We will find out if our colonial ventures can become profitable before we go bankrupt, unlike what happened to Scotland in real life. We will see if maybe we can ever wrest the Pale and the rest of the Scottish marches from the English, perhaps with the power of a strong colonial nation on our side. Denmark has integrated Norway, so I feel way less bad about kicking their asses to get our islands. And we'll see what we can do about these Catholic zealots. I mean, by weight of manpower, we can probably beat them, eventually.
Casey's now up and scared.
Oh, poor Case. So check out loresworn.com. That's our website. We're at Loresworn Order on Twitter. I am at AsaTJ. That is ASATJ. Subscribe, hit the notification thing, all that obligatory stuff that we're supposed to say at the end of the episode, because this is YouTube and that's like, I don't know, it's like a holy commandment or something. And we'll see you guys next time.